Yesterday, I have published this module regarding mobile money payment in Cameroon using Notchpay as provider. So you can see that in Odoo there are many payment providers, but there is only Flutterwave here that supports mobile money payment. This is why I have implemented the Notchpay module here that is actually active on my instance. So now I will present you how to integrate a custom mobile money payment in Odoo. But first of all, let's see how it works. Let's say I have to buy this office lamp. So I will check out and confirm the payment and then choose here a mobile money payment that is either MTN mobile money or Orange money. I will choose Orange money. I will try to pay now. So I have to put a name here and the mobile money, my phone number, and then the payment will be processed through Notchpay, and you see here. So the payment can be waiting for approval or uh, just be approved. So what are the configurations? So in Notchpay, we need only to install the module Notchpay here with a public key and link it to payment methods that has been created, and also the currency and the country are important. So basically, there are many mobile money payment providers in Cameroon, as you can see here, but actually I'm using only Notchpay. So before without this module, I think every developer until now needs to do some of customization if they are not using Flutterwave. So the customization actually is for Notchpay, and it is regarding, or it's used mainly two main components. First of all, we have the Odoo Mobile Money payment module that will be based on the payment uh, module, where the main components are the payment provider, the payment method, and the transaction and the controllers, as I will show you. So you have here in the configurations, you have payment providers here, and each payment providers will be linked to some payment methods. Here I have Orange Money and MTN Mobile Money, and there will be some transactions. Here in our case, we had for the things I just did, we had this transaction. Here we have these two transactions I did. So, and from the payment provider, you have to make sure that you have the public key, the private keys, and also the webhook secret. If you use webhook, actually, I'm not using webhook in the Notchpay. Then you need to make sure you have the payment API reference. In our case here, I'm using the initializer to initialize the payment, and then I have to verify the payment, and I'm verifying it without actually the webhook, as it's explained here. There are some things that are not yet implemented, but the main idea is this: from the Odoo part, you have to make sure that you have a payment provider, a payment method, and some controllers. As example, you can see payment stripe and Flutterwave payment module. And in the other side, you have to make sure that your provider give you the secrets that you can use for authenticating to the API. And then you have, of course, the API, and what are the main purpose. So you need some currency based on the country, and also the payment method that are available. As example here, Notchpay actually is not supporting bank payments. They are supporting only mobile money, Orange and MTN. How it works? How it works now? Here is the process flow. Here is the process flow. So from Odoo, we will initialize the payment through the payment initialize endpoint, and the payment provider will give us back a response as a JSON. We will use in that response we have uh, the the transaction reference that we will use to verify the payment status if it is successful or not, and then based on the response we have, we will use it in Odoo to mark the transaction. This is what we have here actually. So when the transaction is created at the end, you have, based on the provider reference, you can pass it in Odoo, and then you try uh, to set a status for that transaction. So let's go now in the coding part and let's explain some components. So what is done is that we have a payment transaction. So we start from here where we send a payment request. When we send this payment request, it will go to the payment provider and make a request. So we have here the payment provider where we have the make request here that will make request to the Notchpay API, and this make request is called from the transaction here, payment transaction. We can, you see here, we initialize here the transaction, and then there will be some checks to check the compatible providers when we initialize the transaction. So when let's say here when we were buying when we were buying, we had the payment providers. So these payment providers is checked by this to get in the redirect form where we have to pay the compatible providers, and then to check also the supported currency. Then when the payment is sent via the send payment request, we have a response that we need to pass through the controller here. Mm, we are in the transaction. We need to pass here. You see, we need to pass the callback to a URL, and that URL here in the controllers will try to handle the notification from the payment transaction. The notification will be handled from the payment transaction. It's an internal Odoo model. When it's handled the notification, it will try now to do some checkout, some checkout to update the payment transaction. As you can see here, we when we send it here, we have the payment notification from where we get the transaction from the notification data. You see, we get here the transaction reference, and with this transaction reference, we try to find in Odoo the reference that we are using. In our case, we will have, for example, this one, and then based on the response that we have from Odoo, we can, of course, update the payment method that has been used. Orange money, here you can see Orange money has been used in the second transaction. MTN mobile money has been also used, and we can also set the status. The status can be complete, cancel, and so on. You see here the status. This one has status confirmed, but this one has the status pending. So it happened because actually we are not using any webhook. We need to do the the payment verification manually from the code. So when we do that, it can happen that we do not have a proper response from the API because maybe of some latency, and here we just try to catch that error and to update the callback URL here that can be used later to do a manual uh, uh, a manual verification. So actually, the uh, the webhook is not existing to do it automatically. This is what here. This is why we just do this for now. And I think that's it. You can check the module. If you have any concern, you can create an issue, and your code review also are welcome. Ciao.